Okay, so in the morning I talking about few other concepts of uh, law of assumption. So basically, I was talking about Neville Goddard. Everyone is you pushed out, and that imagination is God, and what you assume to be true becomes true. So I mentioned about it. Now coming to the second part is Abraham Hicks. So there's a very familiar and very popular book. I came across this book of Ask, Believe and Receive uh, in my college library. So in my MBA college library, when I was starting to manifest my SP. At that point of time, I found out this book, and at the right time, as of like it was a sign from this universe that these are the steps of how you should be the change to create the change in your life. So basically, this book is about what you attract what matches your vibrational frequency. So, and it also mentions that you have to feel good, and once you feel good about the things and you stop worrying about the how, that's how it's the fastest way to manifest. So here Abraham Hicks, she teaches that you when you focus less on the how and more on being in the alignment with the feeling of having what you desire, that's when it manifests. So basically, if you see, there's not much of a difference between law of assumption and law of attraction. Law of attraction is like you have to create that vibrational frequency inside of you to attract that, and law of assumption states that what you want, you should assume it to be true, and it assume that it already exists, and you need to change your assumptions about people, and that's how you manifest. So but Abraham Hicks also says with this one thing. So she mentions a word which is known as vortex. So vortex means everything you have asked for is already created in a vibrational reality. So that's what it says. Like if you have read in Shiv Puran, Shiv says that whatever you asked from me, I've already given you in the spiritual realm. So all you need to do is to believe. So that's what even Abraham Hicks is saying. She's saying that when you align with your desire by joy, ease, and gratitude, that's when it comes. Now, there's one more very popular person in the community of law of attraction and law of assumption. That is Louise Hay. So she basically has focused more on self worth and reducing negative self talk. So she says that a lot of problems in our life we create when we think low about ourselves, when we feel that we are less worthy of something which we desire or love. For example, you want a 3 BHK bangla, but then bangla isn't like like it's your you own a whole plot or a building, okay, like G plus 2 building or G plus 1 building. So you want that, but somewhere you feel like I do not have that much amount of money and I will die as a miserable person. And so that's how this set of limited thinking is actually stopping you from building your desire. So that's what it says. So Louise is focusing more on the self love and inner healing. So she has emphasized more on like affirmations like I am safe or I am worthy of love, life supports me. And she has also even stated in one of her book, which is Heal Your Life, that most of the diseases, it somehow arises when we are not able to manage our anxiety, our stress levels, or it more or less focus. She's more or less focusing on building your self concept or self esteem. So she says that once you release the old patterns, you will create new realities. So how do you release the old patterns? By focusing more on the new realities. So that's why we affirm. Okay, now my most favorite teacher, Jesus Christ. So he has focused on the power of I am. So if you know, in Exodus it is written, the book of Exodus, it is written that God says I am that I am. So Jesus often said that I am the way, the truth and the life, which is emphasizing that divine power is within us and it is accessed through our belief. So what does it mean? Faith as a seed. So belief is everything. So if you believe you have received it, it will be yours. And this is stated in Mark 11:24 as well. So this is also aligning with what Neville has said and what Abraham has said. So it's basically like you're making a prayer to this universe, and you're also making, just making the prayer is not enough. What you need to do is actually align with the posture of the prayer. So you are praying that I want to be, super healthy, but you are actively engaging in unhealthy habits wherein you are, you are too much into alcohol, too much into drugs and everything. And drugs, though, in my childhood, there was a workshop which was given around 7th standard or so, I remember. And there they had shown what are the negative effects of drugs. Like if somebody is consuming drugs, how it can affect the immune system, how it can damage the whole body, because people get habitual to it. Same for alcohol, and same for smoking and all this kind of stuffs. So I'm not someone who would discourage alcohol totally. It's just that if done in limits, it's good, and if not done in limits, it can damage someone's health, and that anyway is not a good way of living, because it will damage someone's health. So that's the thing, like sometimes the problems we create in our life is because of our own self, because of our lack of self control, and self control is very much needed. I think like I used to drink when only for 2 years, and like my family members knew that I used to drink, but it was not something which was I used to do it regularly. But I eventually stopped the more I got into all this spiritual and manifestation kind of stuffs, and more into God related stuffs. Like I always believed in God, but it's still like when I went more into these teachings, when I disciplined my life through Bible, through Gita, through praying, through through the faith. So that's where I stopped all of these things, and I believe that it's a good thing if somebody is stopping all these kinds of things. I'm not saying that don't drink at all. Drink, but it should be very, very rare, like once in a blue moon. So like that. And smoking, though, I would never recommend someone to smoke, because it's totally injurious to health. It causes all the toxic kind of diseases. So all these kinds of things, So when you treat your body with love, your body will treat you back with love. So that's the thing. You cannot abuse your body, and you cannot expect your body to be, keeping you safe and sound and healthy. So yeah. Now, okay, so few more things which I wanted to mention is that so some of you have some confidence problems. So one thing you can do is that you can go in the mirror and you can say your affirmations. What will help you to do this is that it will help you build your confidence, self-esteem. So anything, like any affirmations, it is not just like confidence related affirmations, it could be any related affirmations. You just go into the mirror and you talk it out. You say that I am healthy, I am sound, I'm living the life of my dreams, or whatever your affirmations are. You go to the mirror and do that. Okay. Okay, so let me just give you some examples of few things. So as you know that Neville Goddard concept teaches us that our reality is a mirror of our inner state, including our beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, our self-concept. So people don't treat us based on who they are. They treat us based on who we believe we are to them. So if you think that she doesn't value me or he doesn't value me, you'll experience that. So if you shift and think, of course he loves me, I'm chosen, then reality begins to mold around that. And this is not manipulation. This is inner transformation, because some or the other way, whatever we believe, we eventually put out that energy and we attract that. Also, one more thing, what I mean by everyone is you pushed out. The pushed out means our inner world writes the script of how others act. Now, what people often miss is that we can say affirmations all day, but if deep down we feel that we are unworthy, our subconscious won't allow that desire in, because we need to believe that that we deserve this, then only it happens. So that's where self concept steps in. So you might be saying that I'm loved, but feeling that I don't deserve this, that contradiction will block your manifestation. So Louise Hay said, you have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Similarly, if you have been, if you have been trying to manifest a relationship and you have been saying that, I'm not good in keeping relations, I'm unlucky in love, and all that kind of bullshit kind of stuff, if you keep saying to yourself, then that's what you are projecting, and that's why you're not able to attract what you want. And you need to keep in mind that whatever you want is already on its way to you and it is already done. You need to have this crystal clear in your head. So the core healing is to see yourself as worthy of the desire. And that's what I mean to all of you, that you need to elevate your self-concept. Because of this, you need to have self-love for yourself. You need to be compassionate to yourself. So have you ever noticed that if you talk rudely to someone, they would stop talking to you? Because they sense that disrespect and they stop talking to you. And so why do you talk disrespectfully to yourself then? That's the thing. So when your self-worth rises, people start treating you better. Lovers show up differently. Opportunities flow. Why? Because your self-concept has changed and the world is just a reflection of that. Okay, now at the power of I am. So this wasn't just a name, it was a spiritual truth. So when you say I am loved, I am chosen, I am his wife, I am his husband, I am her husband, I am whole, you are becoming it. That I am it gives you a sense of identity. So it's not just what Jesus said, that I am what they say I am, or I am what I am. It's not, he was not mentioning just in a spiritual way about saying that he is the Lord, but he was saying about identity. He was mentioning about how you can change your identity by the I am. So whatever I am plus whatever you say, you become that. So those words create your state, and the state creates your world. That is why saying I am what I am is not about settling. It's about owning the creative power of your being. Okay, so this is what I have accepted as true of myself, and now the world will conform to it. It basically means that. Now, so some practical exercise I would like to give you is that maybe just try journaling out. I am loved, I am enough, I am worthy of being chosen, I am irreplaceable, I am the reflection of God's love, I am who I decide to be, I am in a loving relationship with my partner and it feels natural. We are happily married to each other. So build on these things and maybe just script these things down, or you can write like your name and your partner's name, like that. Okay, now let me just give you one example. I know this video is getting a bit long, but I want it to be very useful to you guys. So suppose you have a teammate, okay, and it happens in any corporate, okay, and suppose a teammate named Alex, okay, and you think that he never seems to include you in any project chats, and so in your mind you start thinking, Alex doesn't respect me, he thinks I'm incompetent. Now, because you assume disrespect, your energy around Alex was guarded, so you avoided initiating conversation, bristled wherever he spoke, and you felt a knot in your stomach before every meeting. Because what happens is that even if we do not say those things, they kind of sense what we are feeling. So I remember that me and my SP's common friend, so there was this common friend who used to be very much sticky around him. So this person, he took care of my SP a lot, and so one day I was just meditating on this, that he took care of my SP so much, and I was being thankful to him in my mind. And the next day he was looking at me as if he sensed that. So even my mother used to tell me, if you send someone energy from a distance, they will get to know because everything is energy, feelings is energy, and that's how intuition is connected. That's how you can sense your partner, that's how you can sense your closed ones. So that's the thing. So the next morning when you catch yourself feeling bruised by that old story, you can do this. You can change your assumptions around Alex, and then you will see that your relationship with Alex will get better, because you are seeing yourself as valuable, respected contributor on his team, and Alex will start appreciating your ideas. So I think this is what something this similar example was given by no, this is not about Alex. Like I've seen many of my team members feeling this way, and that's how they create a toxic relationship with their co team members. So I think that's what is different. When you change your assumption about people, everything else changes. So that's what I'm saying, that your inner world writes the script, and self-worth is the foundation. So when you see yourself as valuable, people see you as valuable. So once your inner state changes towards someone, everything else changes. So change your assumption and watch them miraculously change. And so I was trying to give you an example of something which was written in the book of secrets. So there somebody had written a mail to someone saying, like, this person was a gay who had written a mail to someone saying that how he is harassed by his colleagues, that he's a gay and etc. And he had written all the negative kind of stuffs, and I think some mindset coach or some manifestation coach, or Rhonda Bryan, the creator of the book of The Secret, somehow she got that mail, maybe through CC or BCC, I do not remember. So she started saying the person who was a gay, she said to that person that you have written all the negative kind of stuffs, how people treat you and what is happening in your life, and you are just focusing on the negative. And that's why the more you talk about these things, and the more you focus on the negative side of these things, actually talking is not the problem, but because once you talk, it's enough. But if you keep talking about it, you keep focusing on it, and that gets bigger. So what you focus on gets bigger. So that's what Rhonda was saying in that book of The Secret, that I told that person who was gay. I said that if you are not bothered by your identity of how you are, you should not let others affect you that way. So stop talking about how people mock you or treat you badly, and see yourself change. Don't give a fuck about it. Basically, she meant that, and that's how actually things change for that person. So you don't need to go and fight it in the reality, but if you don't let other people's assumption affect what you want to create in your life, then nothing else will affect you. So that's about it. Thank you.